Okay, so I'm back, and whatever today is, I know it's Tuesday. Okay, so I want to address some shit about some racist stuff, and then I'm gonna be done with updating my YouTube site or whatever. All right. Uh, Before I even address the racist stuff, because it's too many things going on with racism when we should be all looking for a way to peacefully get along with people, regardless of ethnic diversity. Being that I am of Native American, Black, and white descent, I am the one person on earth who does not have the right to be a racist. All right, so let me switch gears and then possibly get back on that. And if not, then I'll just make another post. All right, one for all you young people out here that don't seem to have a clue about what the hell is going on in the world. When I signed up to join the military, I signed up for two reasons. One, I had a broken heart, and two, I needed a job. And here's where kind of the racist part comes in. When a lot of us people of color die, especially people who have more black features than myself, when we die, most of society will always consider us to be some gangbanger or some thug or some drug dealer or somebody who just life went to hell in a handbasket, much like mine did, which led me to the army, which gave me purpose, which I wish I was still in the army. All right, granted, I kind of sucked at it, but I much rather be there where I can actually do something and make a difference than struggle in the real world or civilian world and not make a difference. All right, so let me explain something to you, young fellas out here who so adamantly think that ISIS is the way to go after we train your traitorous asses. Yeah, I'm talking to specifically people who were in my branch of the military, the National Guard, and people of color who are so easily influenced and so freaking stupid. These people are trying to kill you. They're trying to kill your families, and they're using Allah as a religious means to brainwash your dumbasses to join them. If you were born in America, be American. Don't hate the world to hate you because you have the right to do so many different things in the world where people in communist countries can get arrested for breathing or having one too many children or doing something incredibly brash and dumb. Now, the thing about that that disturbs me, I think it was 2 years ago or last year. I'm not real sure. It might not even been that far. It might have been either after my surgery or before my surgery, but two National Guard guys, and unfortunately they were black, were in New York, I think, and one of them was actually a National Guard guy, and the other one wasn't, and they got for it, thank God. But you guys, come on, man, they're trying to destroy us. Without question, without remorse. They don't give a damn about your family. And for you young ladies, I mean, come on, man. Women have it bad enough as it is everywhere in the world, where you're not really getting acknowledged for what they're good for. Oh, well, we're going to join ISIS and become whores and sluts, and they're going to kill us and rape us every day. Where in the fuck do y'all think that that is a good idea? Why in the hell are you going to give up your freedom to be raped and be some jackass fucking slut puppy? Where here, you might not have it great. You might have to work at McDonald's. You might have to push some burgers. You may have to have a lot of things. But here you have a fighting chance. You have a chance to work. You have a chance to have children that you want to have, and not somebody forcing themselves on you to make you carry their baby to raise another stupid ass leader in the freaking wherever the hell they are. And you guys aren't really thinking things through. I really don't know if I'm going to get through to any of you with this. So I'm going to say this as best I can and as politely as I can while I rock a Captain America Avengers shirt. Okay, we have issues in America. Granted, no country, state, city, whatever is 100% perfect or foul proof. Nothing is. That's why it's called working together. For the Chinese people, gung ho. Anyway, my Chinese is rusty. I don't really know that much of it anyway. I need to get Rosetta Stone. The thing about this terrorist group that's brainwashing our young people, parents these days are too busy to explain to them, these guys that are like crashing planes into buildings and shit, they're not helping you, all right? And they want you to kill your grandmother's best friend, your mother, your father, their best friends, people who have changed your fucking diapers, and you want to join our army, learn how to fight very well because we are the best. Hell, the United States Armed Forces, and you want to turn treason and go be with these bastards who would rather kill your grandmother in front of you and use a religious deity to make you come over there and then come back over here and kill innocent children. What God kills innocent children? Even the Greek gods didn't kill children. They may have took them up to Olympus and kept that one kid that was like the most beautiful boy ever or whatever. Education is important, but knowledge and education can only get you so far. Common sense is just as important. But here's that thing, man. This country, America, it does have its sins. I am a descendant of people who have been sinned on. And half the people in America have been sinned on. In 1940s, when World War II started, all our fellow American Japanese citizens were put in entrapment camps. Some of them got their restitution, some of them are getting their restitution. Some of the soldiers that died and fought and survived and are now amputees are just now getting restitutions. It's been damn near 70 years. You're killing people who fought to make sure that you have the right to breathe air when you want it, when you need it. And you're being really stupid about it because, granted, my Native American ancestors suffered, and my black ancestors suffered, and maybe even some of my white ancestors suffered, which is why I'm probably multicultural due to the suffering of others, leading my families to unite race-wise and, becoming who we are. And here's the thing about America. Sometimes America works for everyone except for Americans, and sometimes it works for us all. Alright? Here's the reality of life in general. The world is what you make of it, and the world belongs to everyone. Granted, did you do things that are legally right and morally right? Alright? If you're going around doing stupid shit and acts of terrorists, that's probably the worst thing you can ever do. Do you not think about what the kids you leave behind, the future of your child, if you have children? Do you not think about what they're gonna go through when you're done doing the dumb shit you do? Let's shift back a couple of weeks, to the little thing in Sacramento or wherever it was in California. I know it was in California. I've got enough problems so I can't remember everything, and everything that comes out of my mouth won't be 100% straight, but it will be honest. Okay, so you have a husband and wife who apparently was radicalized, and they have a little baby girl. They didn't think for one fucking minute that that baby's gonna grow up here, the child of terrorists. She's gonna be a target, even though she's innocent. And every fucking person in her class, in her generation, who knows what her parents did because of us and the adults that will spread it around like wildfire, and she'll come to school and everybody's gonna hate her, everybody's gonna pick on her. She's not gonna have a fucking snowball's chance in hell because her parents did something stupid. And in the Bible, for those who are religious, I believe in God, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. The sins of the father are paid for by that of the son. So clearly the sins of the daughter is paid for that of the parent, or however the fucking saying. But the same concept is, did they think of their little girl when they shot up all those people in California, when they ended all those lives, those 14 lives? No, they didn't think about their daughter. They didn't give a damn. Because some jackass who wears a mask, who's not a vigilante like Batman and fighting for justice in the American way, he has nothing better to do than pick a fucking fight with one of the world's greatest military forces of all time. So let's go pick a fight. Yeah, that's what ISIS does. They're gonna go and pick a fight. They're gonna go and, you know, coerce young people who haven't really had a sit down talk with somebody elderly, a sit down talk with somebody like their grandmother who busted their ass to get out of that country to come here where they are free, to finally have the freedoms that they can go into a store and don't have to fight for a scrap of fucking bread, so they can go out and breathe air and walk into a park without stepping on a fucking landmine and losing a limb. And these dumb kids, these stupid young 20-year-old dumbasses who go to college and still can't think for themselves and become fucking terrorists. Oh, well, I'm a Muslim, so I'm gonna go ahead and join these guys. You're a jackass. Don't let your religion be your way into some stupid ass terrorist organization. You want to join ISIS? Hey, you're a dick. Knock yourself out. But when we take your asses out, you have not considered the aftermath. You haven't considered what happens to your mom. That she raised you. She didn't raise you to be a damn terrorist. You don't consider what happens to your dad, how he has to go to work and wonder who's going to stab him in the back because his son became a fucking terrorist. So my advice to anybody, especially us Americans, and especially us American people of color and young people who don't have anything to do other than listen to some jackass who fills your head up with enough racial bullshit to make you want to go out and do something stupid like join these fucking radical groups and shit. You know, you want to make a statement, blow yourself up, but don't take out anybody innocent. No, hey, nobody's gonna miss you. They might wonder why the hell you did it. But when you take out innocent people, oh, you want to get noticed. That's all you're trying to do. You want to get noticed. Okay, well, here's the thing. There are many ways to get noticed. That ain't it. No, you don't have to kill anybody innocent because you want to get noticed. I have a bad day every time I take a fucking breath. All right? And there are people who are far worse off than me. There are bums on the street who can't get jobs. Some of them are like me. They're ex-military. And it's hell out here trying to get a job. Okay, granted. But that will not make me break down to the point where I have to go blow up a fucking building to make a statement to get the military to listen. Okay, look, we hear you, we see you, and we care, right? Kind of like my unibrow, but we care, all right? And the thing with you young people, y'all gotta understand, man, the world is yours. It's yours. Us old people in the 50 and up club, which I'll be in about like 6 years, us old people, man, we've paved the way. And the way hasn't always been a golden road for the golden nuggets coming behind us. Each generation has to pay for the mistakes of the generation before on some level or another. And the thing is, no one wants to tell you this because the pure dose of reality is this: nothing is perfect, nothing is absolute. And the only way that it can become absolute is if we all learn to find that one thin line that everybody agrees on. We all bleed red. You know, we all have a heart. We all feel pain. We all fall in love. We generally get our hearts broken at least once or twice in a lifetime. I'm not saying it's a great thing, but when you become one of these radical jackasses, you know, you fail to understand the consequences of your actions. You have a piss poor planning thing going on with you. And when it comes to piss poor planning, it's kind of like having sex with a chick with no condom and you didn't really want to have a baby, but she chose to have the baby because you're a dick. Or your dick was just that good and she just decided, hey, I'm going to trap this motherfucker. It happens. Deal with it. You get past it. But be a good daddy. Back to the subject at hand. You know, young people are influenced by so many things: TV, computers, definitely computers, technology, the things we could use, and the people and the resources we could use to make the world better. It's the same thing this jackass is giving you guys propaganda to make you jump the ship and get over on the bad side. But you don't look at the big picture when you do this stuff. You sit there and you think, well, nothing's going to happen to my family. I'm not going to put a big target on their back. Okay, you see that? That little circle with that big A right there? Looks like a bullseye, although it's actually Captain America's shield. The thing you have to understand, and no, this is not me acting, this is actually coming from my heart. Like I said, it's real. I'm going to keep the shit real. The thing you young people need to understand, and you need to get this shit right the first damn time. We have to pay for all we use, and for every action, there's a consequence. If you're not willing to pay the consequence, don't do the action. All right, it's kind of like if you create the crime, you got to do the time. Same concept. But the thing is, you're not thinking about the people. Just like these guys go out and make crimes or do something extremely stupid and get caught and go to jail and get away from their kids and all this bullshit. It's because they weren't thinking of what they were supposed to be doing. Two, and most importantly, they weren't thinking about how their actions affect their families. And three, they weren't thinking about the families of the victims, because everyone who has a family generally loves their family, and as dysfunctional as most families are in America, that doesn't change the fact that they still love their family. I would never admit this in public, so I'm going to admit this on the internet. I got 5 sisters, and I have 3 brothers. When I signed up for the military, besides my broken heart, and I needed a job, I knew the risk that came with it, and I knew, because I'm kind of a dumbass, that I would get infantry, whether I liked it or not, and I really just wanted to get into the military, and I didn't want to come home. Unfortunately, if you see the other video and you see my x-rays, and you know the guy before this guy here, who could do kung fu, who could do anything, and before his heart got broken, there was nothing that could stop him. Yeah, that was me. Now I'm not so righteous, but I am going to be honest. You know, when I signed that name, when I took that oath, and when I started going by these warrior ethos and everything, I thought about my family. And I thought, how proud would they be that if I went to another country and came home a hero, or if I died in service of my country and came home a hero. And that way, when they would look at my grave or my urn, because I'm getting cremated, they would think, you know what? Our big brother was pretty brave. A little stupid, but pretty brave. I'm not saying that, you know, the army is for everybody. Clearly it's not, because I'm not there. But, you got to understand, when these soldiers, these American soldiers, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, Reserves, when all of us take that oath, that shit means something to us. It means that we are willing to lay down and die so that all of you, including you jackasses that become traitors and join the stupid fucking ISIS motherfucker, have the right to breathe, procreate, and get rich anywhere in the world. And I want you young people to understand this, man. These guys you joining to kill us, to kill your people here in America, they don't give a fuck about you. You just cannon fodder. That's it. You cannon fodder. Because they're not brave enough to take the hit themselves. They're not brave enough to live out in the open. They're not brave enough to strike in spots where people can defend themselves. Clearly, they only go after unarmed civilians in buildings in big cities that have like no surface to air missiles. They can shoot the planes down. Sacrifices must be made. Oh no, they sacrifice innocent lives. What if it's one of your family members, that one of the people that you're supposed to be working with decides, hey, we're going to go kill this guy's family even though he's on our side. We're going to go shoot up where his daddy works. You don't think about that shit, though, do you? When you're going to shoot up somewhere, somebody like my dad, or the person next to me's dad, or my boss's dad. Y'all don't think about none of that shit when y'all go do this terrorist crap and shoot up people's shit. No. What if you shoot up a place where, hell, your own parent works? Are you that twisted that you would join a radical group that would have you kill your own family to make a statement? There are a lot of dumb things that young people do. A lot of dumb things. And, I'm probably not going to get any hits off this video other than insults. But so I'm going to go ahead and get this shit out here. Because I would rather be in the Army and except going back to Fort Benning, unless I can go back to Delta with Drill Sergeant Haynes and Almberg and Aztec Warrior, a.k.a. Drill Sergeant Amiskwa, now that I can pronounce your name. I would much rather be under their command, eating dirt, push-ups on Fort Benning, any day of the week, than worrying where the next ISIS target is going to be. Because if I'm in the army and the next ISIS targets come and they send us infantry guys in, we're going to fuck you guys up. Because that's what we do. When we sign that oath of service, that's our soul right there. That's where we belong. We belong fighting for a country that wants us to be here. Now, granted, I've been through a lot of racial shit in my life because people really just have no idea what the fuck my ethnic background is. But in the Army, it's Army Green. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We're all brothers. We all bleed. We have sisters in there now. So we're all brothers and sisters who took that oath to die for this country, this great fucking country. Granted, I'm sorry that there's a lot of foul language in here, but when I think about people that were killed by the two married couple, I'm not going to identify them as Muslims because that's just like fucking labeling people, and that's not cool. These two people, somehow, I don't know how, but somehow, they didn't look like they had the potential of becoming terrorists. And again, I'm pretty sure they didn't think that shit all the way through. They had to be brainwashed on some level or another because they have a baby. Why in the fuck would you give up your life and the life of your baby for a fucking bunch of fucking jackasses that could care two shits if you're fucking breathing? And it hurts because, one, we don't have an early warning system. And there's no telepathic people on the planet. And if there are, their warnings probably came a little too late for the people who got shot the hell up. You know, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. And the worst part about it is that that little girl is gonna have a hell of a life, and her grandparents are gonna have to raise her, providing that they stay healthy long enough for her to become of age. And if not, and she gets lost in the system, and people do actually find out who she is, you won't know who she's gonna bump into, who's gonna want to do something stupid to her because her parents were fucked up. She's innocent. But see, there's this thing about people, and I don't know the deadly sin for it. I guess it's gluttony or whatever. You know, Gluttony makes people do dumb shit, and people are naturally vengeful. I can say this because as a martial artist, and there have been people that I know I could take and have wanted to take out since high school. As a martial artist, I know the dark side of martial arts, and I know that as a soldier, it's a whole lot easier to kill people than to ask them questions. All right, I know that just probably sounds about as brash as fuck, but it is true. And it is a whole lot easier to actually kill a person than it is to ask them questions. So I'm gonna try to end this, at least this part of the video. I'm gonna try to put it to you in layman's terms or as bluntly as possible. There are a lot of things that the world has to answer for. Racism is probably the number one thing on the top because in America, you have the right to have any religious deity, prayer, and atheists included, to do what you want. You do not have the right to take a life of anyone, you know. And as a soldier, I know this sounds really fucked up because technically, when we go to these foreign countries to help them out, a lot of the guys we come to help really consider us the bad guys, you know. And I get that. I get that, because in World War One, we were the bad guys against the foreign country. I forgot who they were. In World War Two, we were against Japan and Germany and whoever the hell else was on their side. And technically, we were the bad guys because, kind of like the terrorists, this is probably one of our worst sins ever. Dropping the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki didn't make us look good at all. Turnabout's fair play though because they kind of struck Pearl Harbor first. However, we still did a lot of the American, Japanese, and Asian citizens in general because most of the people couldn't really tell them apart wrongly when we just started like, okay, you're Asian, get in the encampment camp. But I'm Chinese, I don't give a fuck. Get your ass in the camp. You look like them, you're them. And that's basically how I got on the point of racism. You know, you can't look at someone and say, well, this is your race and our enemy is your people, so you're going. All right? let me get this done for the 20, 30 minute thing happens or whatever. My ancestors were Cherokee Indians. They were peaceful at one point in time. I'm just going on speculation because I wasn't there. But many of tribes, whether it be from the Apache, who were probably the roughest of us, and the Sioux, and the West Coast Indians, and the East Coast Indians, and the South American Indians, I'm sure all the tribes probably fought for tribal lands and spaces and all that once they branched out and fell in love with the land. However, you know, for 10,000 years, it was theirs before the Chinese guy discovered America on the West Coast, which was actually proven to be the first. And then Columbus fucked up. And then the other guys came in. And then Cortez conquered most of the South, which is why all the Native Americans of Mayan, Incan, and Aztec only speak Spanish, unless you're still living in those tribes down in South America and Chile and all that, where they keep the tribal language alive. Where here, most of the people, they have lost their languages due to the fact that all of our elderlies and our wise men have been passing away. And the young people are so, let's see if I can put this polite. No, fuck it, I can't. Most of you young people have head and ass syndrome, and you think you know every damn thing, and you haven't learned anything because you don't want to learn, and you think that we're preaching to you. We're not preaching to you. We're trying to pave a way so that you understand not to fuck up like we did, and not like the generation before my generation, the generation before that generation, and try to find some kind of silver lining that you all can kind of get along and understand. I'm gonna end this video and start a new one.